Okay, so at this point, when we hit our run button, our ship will rotate, and that's about all it'll do. What we did in the last video was we set up the variables for making the ship move. We added these two new variables to get us the middle of the screen and the width and the height. We use those variables right here to kind of change our ship X's. Please do make sure that all of your all of your code here, all of these variables are all floats. Right down here even to the current ship speed. Make sure that's a float also, 0.0. They should all be floating decimals. Okay. And then lastly, we have this variable slow down ship, which we initialized as false. So these are the variables that are going to make it possible for us to make the ship move. So then in our last session, we did in the key down function, we did this block of code that handles when the W key is pressed. And when the W key is pressed, we increase the current ship speed by the ship speed delta. But at a certain point, the current ship speed is going to try to be greater than or equal to our maximum ship speed. When that happens, we're just going to keep our current ship speed set at our maximum ship speed. That way our ship won't go faster than we want it to. When we press the S key, we're going to set the Boolean variable slow down ship to true. This is going to cause something to automatically happen just by changing that Boolean variable, which when we just initialized it, it was initialized as false. If you press the S key, all that does is sets that variable to true. But that'll make something else happen in another function. In the key up function, we also needed to handle when the W key got released, because when the W key is released, we want to stop telling the ship to speed up. So then we just keep the current ship speed equal to what it is. That will cause our ship to coast. It'll just keep its momentum that it has, and it'll just coast. And lastly, when we release the S key, we want the slow down ship variable to be set back to false. We want to stop slowing down, and because we've released the S key. All right. So now that was everything that we did. We also made sure in the game function, we had to make sure we called the function make ship move, because this is what we're going to be talking about now today, the make ship move function. So that gets called in the game loop. Make sure you got that function call there. And then let's go down the code all the way to the make ship move function. And there it is. All right. So one of the first things we want to do here as we make the ship move is we want to get the ship's current X and Y position. This function is going to get called every frame of the game. Since it's getting called every frame of the game, 50 times a second, and our ship is moving, we always need to keep updating what is our ship's X and Y position. So this will be a var ship current X, and that will be equal to our ship dot get X. And we also are going to want, we can recycle this line of code, paste it, but we have to change X to Y, and again right here, change X to Y. This is going to get me the ship's current X position and its current Y position on the screen. All right. Now here's where we get to start using some trigonometry. This is a Math 2 concept that I taught when I taught Math 2 at Alvarez over the years, many times, and at Madera High School. So this variable is going to be called rotation angle in radians. Four words, three humps on that camel, rotation angle in radians. And that's going to be equal to our ship rotation variable multiplied times, I'm going to put this in parentheses, math.pi divided by 180. So to convert an angle in degrees to radians, you multiply the angle in degrees by pi, and then you divide that by 180. Or you can just divide pi by 180. and multiply that times the ship rotation times the angle in degrees, it'll have the same effect. You'll end up getting your rotation angle in radians. And then we're going to use this here as we go to set our ship's delta x and delta y. So here, if thrust is being applied, that means our current ship speed is greater than 0. That means some force is being applied to our ship. Our ship's got a current, it's got some force being applied to it. So if it's greater than 0, then we need to change our ship's delta x and delta y. And we're going to be using the sine and the cosine functions. So our ship underbar dx is going to be equal to our current ship speed multiplied times math dot cosine, and we're going to do that on our rotation angle in radians. So our ship underbar dx is equal to our current ship speed multiplied times the cosine of that rotation angle in radians, this variable we just made up here. Now to make our dy, we can copy and paste, but copying and pasting can be dangerous. Change the dx to dy, and change the cosine to sine. Now, these equations, how I came up with these, well, the one to convert degrees to radians, like I said, taught that in math too. But these other two equations, multiplying the current ship speed times the cosine of the rotation angle in radians, I actually found this online. I searched it up and was looking for the equations to make an object move in the direction it's pointing. And these are the equations I got from the internet. Thank you, internet. Let me clean up the curly braces. All right. Now, we can see if this works. We're going to skip this block right here. This handles slowing the ship down. We're going to jump right down here and we're going to go to move our ship. So ship, it's about to ship dot move. And it's going to be our ship underbar delta x, comma, delta y. And now something will happen. If I press the run button and if I press my W key, my ship is going to be moving. Now, I can fly around on the screen and that's all good and fine, but if I fly off the screen, I'm lost. Unless I turn around. Let's see, did I turn around enough? There we go, found myself. All right. So we have to handle flying off the edge of the screen. So I'm actually going to do that before I handle slowing the ship down. Okay, we're going to go ahead and handle that going off the edge of the screen. So now this is going to go a lot faster than it went in class, because in class I challenged students to try to do 2 of them, but I'm not going to do that here. I'm just going to power right on through. So detect if the ship is moved off screen, then wrap its position smoothly, making it appear on the opposite side of the screen. This comment is repeated twice. If you want to, you can delete it. All right. So I'm going to handle the right edge transition. What happens at the right edge transition? Well, the right edge transition is where my ship current x, there's my ship current x, if that's trying to be greater than or equal to the screen width, if that's the case, then you have gone off the right side of the screen. If the top left corner of my ship, if that's gone off, all right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do our ship dot set position, and we're going to tell it to be positioned at minus ship width for the x value and the ship current y for the y value. And now we can go off the right screen and we should wrap around. If I press my W key and I fly straight off there, I should, appear on the other side. And I can do this over and over again. But the bad news is it doesn't work going that way. So that's what's next. I got to detect when the ship, let me turn it around and go nice and slow. I got to detect when the ship goes over and when it hits this wall. So just like I did looking at the ship's current X value here and comparing it to the width of the screen, here I'm going to take that ship current X, copy it, and I'll paste it right here. And I'm looking to see if it's trying to be less than negative ship width. And if that's the case, I'm going to do something here similar to what I just did. I'll copy that, paste it. I got to work on the X position. It's the ship current Y is going to be good, but it's the X position. And I think to wrap it around and go wrap around to the right side, I better put it at the screen width. Let's see if it worked. So, yep, going this way, no problem. But if I hang a U-turn and I head back the other way, oh, what happened? I lost my ship. Let's see. Screen width. All right, so here's what I've come up with because I got stumped for a little bit and things were not working the way I thought they were supposed to work. So, but now I do have it worked out now. When I head this way, I cross the screen. When I head back, I cross the screen. So this might be a little bit different than what I did in class, but to make it work, I added a +1 here on the handling the right edge transition. And I took out the equals right here. Took out the equals. And I've made that change to my solution code. And so that gets us going left to right. Now, top to bottom. Um, I'm looking here if my ship current Y is trying to be less than negative ship height. That means that it's gone off the top of the screen. I want to make it reappear at the bottom. So I'm just going to recycle our ship.set position. Copy that, paste it. This one's going to be my ship current X. This is the one we're going to have to deal with. This is the height. And this one's going to be negative. One at the top. Nope, this is just going to be screen height. Just the screen height. Pretty sure it's going to be just the screen height. Let me see if this works. Make a left turn, head for the top. And yeah, it did. It worked. Headed for the top. All right. Now for the bottom. So I might have to do a little dark magic. Again, I'm looking at my ship current Y, looking to see if that's trying to be greater than or equal to the screen height. If my ship's current Y is trying to be greater than or equal to the screen height, we'll set our position to the ship current X, and then our Y position for this will be negative ship height. Now, let's see if that worked. Go to the top again. Oh, yeah, I knew it. So I'm going to have to do a little, let's try this one here. There we go. Let's make a U-turn and see if we can go the other way. Yes. All right. So there we have it. We now got full wrapping. We can wrap to the left, we can wrap to the right. It doesn't matter what direction we fly in. We can never leave the screen. We're always trapped in here. So that was the first thing to get done. And, all right. Let's see. Thumbnail when I'm ready for it. Cool. The last thing we have to do is we need to handle slowing the ship down. And so to slow the ship down, well, this is only going to be true. The if right here, if the slow down ship variable is true, then that's when we want to do this. So like I said, when we press that S key, this variable gets set to true. We let go of the S key, this variable gets set to false. And that's what turns this on or off. In every frame, when the make ship move function gets called, this is always checking to see, do I need to slow down? So what we're going to do here is our current ship speed will be equal to our current ship speed subtract our ship speed delta. That'll make our ship slow down, but it creates a problem. I can speed up here. Let me speed up. Let me press the S key. I'm trying to slow down, and I've tried to hold it down, but my ship is still moving, and there's a problem. So this has to do with floats. To handle this, if our current ship speed is trying to be less than or equal to 0, then we're just going to make our current ship speed equal to 0. And at the same time, we're also going to set our ship dx let me tab that over out to there. We're going to set that equal to 0. And we're also going to set our ship dy to 0. Now, if I speed up, and I'm zooming, there I am. All right, I'm going to slow down by pressing my S key, and I can come to a complete stop. I'm not still moving. But I can press my W key, and again, hold it down long enough, and you'll pick up some speed and slowing down. Right. So that's it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in class.